There is a silent question that follows every human being as the years go by, yet almost no one says it out loud. How do I want to grow old? Not as a dream or a romantic image, but in the real world, where life happens in ordinary days and practical needs. Who will take care of me when I can no longer do everything on my own? What will my life look like when my strength changes? Will I be the author of my final chapter, or will others make decisions for me? Most people avoid these questions. They assume the future will simply work out. They believe their family will always be available, always strong, always able to help. But maturity requires clarity. Dignity is not guaranteed. It is built. Autonomy is built. Freedom is built. And when we do not build these foundations while we still have energy, time, and awareness, the future becomes narrower and more difficult. Life does not offer dignity by default. It must be prepared. This is not pessimism. This is honesty. Depending entirely on children, family, or society in old age is not a reliable plan, not because they do not love you, but because they are living their own lives, with their own responsibilities and limitations. Confucius said, "He who builds his house on another man's land will always live afraid of collapse." When your well-being depends only on others, your life becomes uncertain, fragile, and anxious. You have likely seen this. Someone aging with the hope of being cared for consistently and patiently, only to face distance, hurry, and emotional exhaustion around them. Not out of cruelty, but because life keeps moving for everyone. This message is not about fear. It is about preparation. It is about building a foundation that lets you stand with dignity later. Preparation is an act of self-respect. It is also an act of kindness toward those you love. Before continuing, if reflections like this resonate with you, subscribe to the channel. Here, philosophy is not abstract. It is a tool to live with clarity, calm, and meaning. If that matters to you, you are in the right place. Now, listen carefully. Aging is inevitable. But how you age is a choice. Some reach old age with presence, peace, and inner balance. Others arrive frustrated, dependent, and resentful of what they never faced earlier in life. The difference is not luck. It is preparation. And preparation is built over time, through small daily decisions. Not dramatic changes, but steady ones. The kind that seem small, but shape the future. There are 5 pillars that sustain dignity in old age. Physical mobility, financial simplicity, a consistent health routine, emotional resilience, and a personal code of values. These are not theories. They are practices that shape how life unfolds. Before we study these pillars, understand this: aging is not just biological, it is also spiritual. It is the moment when everything we cultivated or neglected becomes visible. It is the unveiling of our relationship with ourselves. Talking about this now is not a burden, it is wisdom. Whether you are young, in midlife, or already older, the future is being formed in the present. The choices you make today shape the kind of old age you will live. If you have followed this far, pause for one breath. This is not about fear. It is about truth spoken with respect. The path ahead is yours to choose, and I will walk it with you. Time moves quietly. It does not ask permission, and it does not announce its steps. One day you wake up and realize that the person you are today is the accumulation of small choices made across years. And when we speak about aging with dignity, we are speaking about those choices. Some strengthen you, some weaken you, and some, when avoided for too long, become the very source of dependence you hope to escape. Let us begin with the first pillar, physical mobility. Many people imagine mobility as something naturally preserved unless something dramatic happens. But the truth is that the loss of mobility begins quietly, almost invisibly. It begins the day we choose the chair instead of the walk, the elevator instead of the stairs, The habit of saying, "I'm tired," when the body is asking to be maintained, not indulged. Mobility is a form of freedom. When the legs are strong, you choose where you go. When the legs weaken, life begins to shrink around you. Consider how much dignity is contained in the simple act of standing up without assistance, washing your own body, reaching a shelf, leaving the house when you wish. These small acts are invisible when they are easy, but they become the heart of autonomy when they are lost. The conflict here is direct. Comfort now often becomes limitation later. Discomfort now. Purposeful movement disciplines small effort, preserves independence later. The body does not demand perfection. It demands consistency. The second pillar is financial simplicity. Many people misunderstand wealth. They believe wealth is having a high income, a large house, expensive objects. But true wealth is measured differently. True wealth is the ability to live without anxiety. It is the peace of knowing your life does not collapse if income changes, if health shifts, if circumstances move. After 60, the ability to generate money tends to decrease. The question is not how much you have. The question is how much your life demands from you to remain stable. The world teaches accumulation, but aging teaches refinement. There is a quiet elegance in needing less. A person who lives with simplicity does not fear the future. A person who is chained to expenses, image, and lifestyle lives in constant tension. Simplicity is not sacrifice. It is strategy. It protects freedom. The third pillar is health maintenance. The body ages, yes, but it does not collapse overnight. It collapses when neglected. Good health is not the result of extreme diets or perfect discipline. It is built through patterns: eating what nourishes, sleeping deeply, walking often, staying hydrated, monitoring the body with awareness. The conflict here is subtle. What is easy to do is also easy not to do. The effort is small, but the cost of not doing it is enormous. Preventing illness is cheaper, kinder, and wiser than repairing damage later. The fourth pillar is emotional resilience. And this is where aging becomes deeply human, because aging is not only a physical transition, it is a spiritual one. You will lose people you love. You will face loneliness at times. Plans will change. Life will not move according to your desires. Emotional resilience is not about being strong all the time. It is about continuing, even when the heart is tired. It is the ability to face pain without surrendering to bitterness. It is the decision to stay alive inside, even when life outside becomes unfamiliar. Two people may experience the same loss, and yet one becomes hardened, resentful, withdrawn, while the other becomes softer, wiser, more compassionate. The difference is not personality, it is training. The heart also needs exercise. Finally, the fifth pillar, a personal code of values. As the body changes and external roles shift, identity can easily dissolve. Many people enter old age uncertain of who they are, without their job, without their former responsibilities, without the validation they once received. A code of values is the anchor that holds identity steady. It says, "I know who I am. I know what matters to me. I know what I will not compromise." This prevents others from deciding your life for you. Without values, a person can be convinced to live in ways that do not reflect who they are. With values, aging becomes a process of refinement, not disappearance. But here is the conflict at the center of everything. The person you wish to be in old age requires effort from the person you are today. And effort is inconvenient. The body prefers ease. The mind prefers familiarity. The ego prefers the illusion that there is still time. There is time, but not infinite time. The longer we wait to cultivate these pillars, the heavier the future becomes. The sooner we cultivate them, the lighter the future feels. This chapter is not about judgment. It is about recognition. And recognition is the beginning of transformation. The question is no longer what will happen in old age. The question is, how will you prepare? The answer will shape everything. Growing old is inevitable, but growing old with dignity is a choice. And the moment you understand this, something shifts inside you. You stop waiting for the future to take care of itself, and you begin to take responsibility for the person you are becoming. Old age is not something that happens to us. It unfolds according to the life we build every day. And that is both the challenge and the opportunity. There is a belief that change requires grand effort, dramatic moments, or perfect discipline. But real change begins in the smallest of habits. It begins in how you choose to treat your body today, how you choose to use your money today, how you respond to stress, to discomfort, to loss today. The seeds of the future are planted in ordinary moments that seem insignificant. Yet they are everything. The first truth is this: it is never too late to begin. The body adapts, the mind learns, the heart heals, but they do so when nurtured, not ignored. Even a small walk each day begins to rebuild strength. Even a small reduction in unnecessary spending begins to restore peace. Even a few minutes of silence each morning begins to rebuild inner clarity. What feels small in the moment becomes transformational with time. The second truth is that aging is not a decline. It is a reveal. It shows what we have built within ourselves. If we spent our lives avoiding our own emotions, the quiet of old age becomes heavy. If we spent our lives chasing status, the simplicity of old age feels empty. But if we spent our lives cultivating presence, meaning, and depth, old age becomes a profound return to our essence. There is a quiet beauty in growing old with awareness, a beauty in knowing that the worth of a life has nothing to do with speed or productivity or social approval, a beauty in realizing that real wealth is the ability to remain yourself in any circumstance, a beauty in waking up with peace rather than urgency. But to reach this place, we must be willing to confront the truth. No one can live our life for us, not our children, not our partner, not our friends. Others can love us, support us, walk beside us, but the responsibility for our inner life is ours alone. The responsibility for our health, our habits, our emotional world, our decisions, our boundaries, our values, this responsibility cannot be transferred. This is not a burden, it is freedom, because it means you are not waiting for anyone else to save you, validate you, guide you, or direct you. Your life is in your hands. Your autonomy is something you can build. Your dignity is something you can protect. Your peace is something you can cultivate. Think of an elder who moves through the world slowly but with presence. Someone who does not need to speak loudly to be respected. Someone who is not shaken easily, someone who listens more than they explain, observes more than they seek attention. That is not weakness, it is mastery, a mastery that comes from building stability inside yourself. This is the path we are speaking of, the path of someone who enters the final chapters of life fully human, not reduced, not dependent, beyond necessity, not resentful or afraid. Someone who understands that the value of a human life is not determined by youth, but by depth. You do not have to transform everything at once. Begin with one pillar. Move your body today, even for a short time. Simplify one unnecessary expense. Prepare one nourishing meal with intention. Practice one moment of silence. Reaffirm one value you refuse to betray. This is enough to begin. The most important step is the first one, and the second, and the third. Consistency turns effort into identity. Over time, you become someone who is not simply surviving, but living with meaning. And when old age comes, and it will, you will meet it with clarity. You will not cling to what was lost. You will not fear what has changed. You will stand on what you cultivated. You will greet the future with the quiet confidence of someone who cared for their life while they had it. Now I want to speak directly to you. You are capable. You are not late. You are not behind. You have not failed. You are here listening, which means something inside you is alive, aware, and willing. That is enough to begin. If you carry this message with you, it will change the way you wake in the morning, the way you eat, the way you breathe, the way you walk, the way you love, the way you age. Because you will no longer be living on autopilot. You will be living with intention. So here is the invitation. Walk with dignity. Care for your body. Simplify your life. Strengthen your heart. Hold your values like a compass. The final chapter of your life is not written yet. You are writing it now. And if you stayed with me until the end, I want you to write one sentence in the comments. Not for me, but for yourself. I choose independence. Let this be your first step.